Hello, film fans. How's it going? Good. I'm glad you're well. Yep. I'm talking to myself. Hey. I'm gonna blame it on my illness. I'm ill again. First time in like 3 or 4 weeks. I'm ill again. I think it's partly this theatre tour that we're doing. Like we have to go to so many different places. This sounds like proper like ungrateful bitching. I'm not being ungrateful at all. Just the fact of the matter is, with this tour, we have to go to so many different places. Large portions of the audience are like small kids, and the classrooms are like. It's just illnesses galore. So I think I've just picked something up from someone somewhere on this tour, and we're using our voices a lot because it's a stage show. So I've just picked up this like cough thing that's like kicking the crap out of my throat and blocking my nose a bit. So I'm taking it easy a little bit with this podcast, and instead of doing like a long movie analysis or something, I'm just gonna do a reaction video, I suppose, to Guillermo Del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, Episode 1. I've wanted to watch this series for a little bit because I'm a big Guillermo Del Toro fan. If you're not familiar with him, excuse me. Sorry, there's going to be a lot of that. A lot of gross noises, coughs. Let me take that again. There's going to be a lot of coughing, probably some nose blowing. There might even be the occasional sniff, which I know sounds disgusting. I try and edit them out of episodes, but it happens. I'm ill. Oh, and I need to apologize, actually. On my Get Out episode that I did last week, I referred to the wonderful, amazing Tessa Thompson. I referred to her as Emma Thompson, who is a very different actress. They're both wonderful, but sorry, Tessa. I am a big fan of yours. I'm just an idiot, and because you both have the same name, and Emma, Tessa, they're both two syllables that end in A, my stupid brain goes, nah, same person. Sorry about that. Not that you're going to see this anyway, but I am a big fan of Tessa Thompson and Emma Thompson. They're both wonderful. Anyway, without further ado, we're going to watch this and react. Yeah, Guillermo del Toro, sorry. Pan's Labyrinth, Shape of Water. He's done a new Pinocchio stop-motion movie, which I really want to see. Yeah, he's done a bunch. Just IMDb him. Okay, cool. Let's get going, shall we? Oh, I'm pretty sure this Cabinet of Curiosities thing is like an anthological, if that's the right word. An anthological just series of episodes. So meaning that I'm pretty sure every episode is disconnected from its predecessor. They're all just individual stories. And I really like those kind of formats, like Love, Death and Robots. If you haven't seen that, it's like all these different animated styles, just sort of like short animated episodes and things. That's awesome. Or like Black Mirror, quite famously, is anthological. Every episode is not connected to each other and different stories and things. So I'm pretty sure this is that format. Let's check it out, shall we? And hopefully it's spooky. A Netflix series.
Traveling was reserved for the
There he is, Big Gilly.
A building, a chamber, or a piece of furniture.
I know it's just the cabinet so far, right? I don't know if that's a genuine prop. It wouldn't surprise me if it was, because I'm pretty sure Guillermo is the kind of guy that likes practical effects and practical props. And, if you look at Pan's Labyrinth, it's all legit makeup and things, as opposed to CGI-ing everything. So that's cool, first off. That may have been a green screen CGI cabinet, I'm not sure. But if it's a legit piece, that's a really cool bit of machinery they got going there. But just straight away already, like that cabinet coming out is not just, he hasn't just got a cabinet. He's got this ridiculous cabinet with all these features and bits and bobs. And then the stuff he's talking about already, like one of the things I just love about him is he's just not afraid to let his imagination just go absolutely bonkers. He's got like a real sort of childish imagination, and I don't mean childish in an insulting way. I mean it in like kids' imagination is like the most free, unhindered sort of, like they're not bothered about like adults or whatever saying, oh, that's not realistic or that doesn't make logical sense or anything. Not saying his stories don't make logical sense, But yeah, he's just got that complete childlike freedom of imagination, and that's one of the things I really love about his stuff.
Of our deeds or darkness or sins. The story today is Lot 36.
See that lighting change then? Very subtle. All he did was walk forward into a deeper light. The music got slightly more sinister. It was, twinky, like ding, 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 sort of curious, spooky, like, oh, what's happening here? He stepped forward. His face got more shadowed. His dialogue got more deep, deep in a kind of like darker way, and yeah, the music changed to match that as well. Also, I really like these talking head introductory bits to anthologies, which I'm pretty sure is going to happen on every episode. Like, I haven't seen it all yet, the whole season. This is the first I'm watching of it. But I really like that kind of format where you have someone. Was it the Twilight show, Twilight Saga? What was that? I'm pretty sure they did it. But I grew up on things like Grizzly Tales for Gruesome Kids, which was an awesome TV show back in the day. It might have been on like BBC or something. And that always had like, I think it was like a shopkeeper or a bookkeeper or something. And he would say like, oh yeah, now we're going to tell the story of whatever. And it would just get into some like dark shit. Or I think even Goosebumps, if you remember that. I need to blow my nose. I'm pretty sure Goosebumps did the same. I probably sound so nasal right now. Goosebumps did the same thing, where it was like someone would introduce, each episode and each give you a little bit of context and backstory, and then carry on with it. Excuse me. Right, Guillermo, let's carry on, shall we? I like that. Spooky. So simple shit like that straight away just kind of shows that it says a lot about this character already. He's got that shuffle walking across the floor, that elderly person sort of thing. He's not the most mobile. Yeah, he's just watching mundane television, and then he flips the bin open to put his food tray, and then straight away he's eating like from a ready meal food tray. So you're like, okay, you're probably not that keen on cooking or keeping after your health, looking after your health, whatever. Then he flips the bin open, and it's just other food trays. So straight away we're like, okay, yeah, you're literally living a Groundhog Day every day, just not doing tons with yourself. It says a lot about his character already. Oh, and he's got the 36 key. Ooh. But he loves aprons, this guy.
Will come the recognition that no nation can stand against a world united.
There was some nice spooky whispers. Hopefully they appeared on the audio there. In the background as he must have had a heart attack or something and fell down. And the close-ups of the animal's head, and then, on his sort of eyes as well. It's like, what is it trying to tell us? It's good. Is this the same geezer? This is a different geezer. Very different geezer. Okay, so that chunk of dialogue there was from the radio, was a little bit on the nose, not very subtle, but these are short stories, so get to the point, I suppose. But that would be my only sort of criticism of that. But, it does set up very, very quickly and without any beating around the bush what type of character this fella is here in this truck. So, it does what it says on the tin, mate. Or the cabinet. His seatbelt is minging. How does your seatbelt get dirty? Something that I really like in films or TV shows or anything that this show is, well, this episode at least, is definitely doing, is they're not writing perfect characters. They're writing like morally ambiguous characters, right? So we had this fella in the truck at the beginning listening to his radio, and the radio guy was chatting shit about white rights and, pardon me, not liking immigrants or whatever it was. Some racist bullshit. So fuck that radio host. And also fuck this guy, because he was like, God, I agree. And then he is actually colleagues or associates or whatever with this guy who he's expressed when he was listening to that radio station in the truck that, you know, he has issues with people that aren't white, essentially. Well, at least I've read that into it based on the rootin' tootin' bullshit that was being spoken. So he's like tolerating this sort of this acquaintanceship. I don't know what words. I'm ill. Leave me alone. He's tolerating this just so that he can make money on the side. He's also just had a phone call conversation where he's like in debt to someone. You know, so he's not the most morally astute person, if that's an expression. And then this guy, he's, you know, taking payments. They're doing that. In case I cut this out, I'll let you know. They're doing that. Is it Storage Wars, where they go around all these like old storage lots, and where people have like you know, missed payments or abandoned them or lost the rights to the lots and all the stuff that's in there. They go around and they bid on them, and then you get whatever's in there, and you might find some cool antiques that you can resell or whatever, or you might not. So he's doing that, and then every time he's taken a payment from this guy for previous things and the one he's just bid on and everything, he's taking a cut off the side, and this guy remarked on it that him taking that cut is, you know, dodgy, and he's like, hey, I don't make enough an hour, so I take a little bit on the side. So he's also morally ambiguous, and I really like it when you get. Sorry, I'm really going around the houses with this point, but that's what I do in this podcast. I chat a lot of shit, chat a lot of script. There we go, puns. I like it when characters aren't written to be solely, you know, all, because they become, in my eyes, they become more three-dimensional, and they become more believable when they're not like these perfect, you know, just always correct and always pure sort of it's a very boring character. I mean, it's good every now and then. Like if you were writing, tale as old as time. You know, the tale of like Jesus in the Bible. Even he has moments of questioning his father, and he doesn't necessarily sin, but he's like, I'm pretty sure there's a part where he's just like, this doesn't make any sense. What do you want from me? And like questions it, and, you know, is confused by it and things, and is like, why, whatever. You know, the characters are more interesting when they're not just completely boop to the point, you know? I hope that made sense. If it didn't, fuck it. There's something in there that he's feeding. That's what I reckon. He's feeding some shit. Some kind of animal or ghost or demon. And the hopping, is the hopping maybe like, it's like a secret knock, you know? Like if you want trying to get behind a door where there's security, where you might do like a din 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 din. Well, that's a really common knock actually. You wouldn't do that, but you'd have some sort of secret knock that lets them know. So is that just some way to like, if they say there is a demon in there, it's like, the hopping. Okay, I'm not going to eat this guy because he's going to give me food. And if I eat him now, he won't come back tomorrow with more food. But if I take the food he gives me and don't eat him, then he'll come back tomorrow with more food. Schmack. Although I might be totally wrong. Let's find out. She's keeping her calm. I would have kicked off big time. I would have been like, sorry? I told you about my changing of my details. I'm still paying you to rent this thing. And you sold my shit? Huh? She's keeping her calm. She's a much better human than I am.
Appleton. Oh. Mr. Appleton.
Oh, he's racist.
And Mr. Ellie said you bought my unit.
$1,000. You can have what's left in there.
Fuck,
I
dude.
make this money in a month cleaning.
This guy's a piece of shit, man. He's a piece of shit. I hope there is a demon in there that fucking eats this dude. Fuck this racist piece of shit. So he's just straight away, actually, on this. There was music until he opened the shutter. I'm itching my toe. I'm not just leaning away from the microphone. Like the Chocolate Rain guy. Chocolate Rain. Anyway, some stay dry and others feel the pain. Fuck was I saying? There was music, and there's not. And that is a really nice way of drawing out the suspense and the tension, because it, for me at least, subconsciously, it makes me more like, it makes me listen more, and it makes me sort of more alert to like, what's going to happen? Is something going to jump out on him? Plus, when he did open the shutter, it cut to, let me rewind it actually. Cut to this shot, which looks as though there's something in there looking at him, you know, watching him, like, oh, who's come to pay me a visit? Do you know what I mean? It's like he's being watched. And now, listen, there'll be no music after this fades out. Just the hum of the electric light. Then his footsteps are quite loud. The bag throwing on the floor is quite loud. He's about to move something there. That's quite loud. But other than that, it's a quiet scene. And having that movement and his footsteps be louder highlights the fact that when there isn't footsteps or noise, it's very quiet. Do you see what I mean? So like a footstep, you'd think, in the grand scheme of, you know, soundscape of noise, that's one of the smaller things. But if that's really loud within the scene, then you're like, oh, this is a very quiet moment. And like I said, that just amplifies the tension. By the way, I'm fully aware that I'm sat here mouth breathing like a champion, but I'm ill and my nose is blocked, so I'm a mouth breathe all I want to. This place is like a maze. I'm getting lost. And I'm out of coffee. There's a little bit there. I went cold. Okay, so he picks that up, and straight away we get some spooky music and some whispering music. You know, like, so straight away we're like, okay, that's going to be a relevant, important thing. Photographs. Dotty. Hear that score? Spooky, eh? Ooh, Nazis. Kill them all. Okay, so they established a minute ago in his backstory that he, like when he was talking to the guy who's running these storage lots, they were talking about like him being in the army and how that's why he's feels hard done by, because like society is, just his point of view, by the way, not mine. He feels like society has shifted away from supporting people like veterans and is focusing too much of its time on like immigrants or whatever. Not going to comment on that, but I do find it weird how veterans in situations like this tend to have like racist opinions when it comes to foreigners and stuff. Yet the like greatest veterans of all time are the people that fought against the Nazis because of the Nazis' racist rhetoric. It's like, what? All of a sudden it just turns to like, I'm not saying all veterans, by the way, I'm just saying veterans like this guy who are racist, you just become the thing you swore to destroy. I'm not saying he fought in World War II, but I'm sure you take my point, right? It just all of a sudden becomes a level of hypocrisy. Like, anyway. They're just being silly. Oh, this is like the deepest the camera's ever gone in there.
Fuck me, Blue.
Some nice quick cuts there just to get the process moving along. Like as we see the visuals of him carrying shit out, we then hear the noise of the shutter closing. And then it cuts to him finishing closing the shutter, like right at the end of it, and it cuts the padlock on. Now it cuts to him attaching stuff to his truck. Just nice, quick, moving on. There's overlaying of the sound from the scene that you're about to see before you actually see the scene and things. It's good. Nice editing trick just to add some pace. Now, nice little Steadicam. So I can't help but laugh when like racists get fucked up, man. Yeah, that'll help. Yep. Yep. That'll definitely help. Just tape up all the glass together. Smart. To be fair, I don't know shit. That might actually be a temporary fix. I don't fucking know. Don't be reading from that, dude. Don't.
Jesus Christ.
Probably the opposite. Probably more like
Client,
Satan.
He was some very interesting.
Oh, this guy. Do I recognize you? Yeah, I do recognize that dude.
The reddish tint on the lacquer.
Made with blood.
Guess what went into it?
Blood.
Sick fucks.
I'm really enjoying this so far. I'm really enjoying the twist, or not really the twist, but the reveal of these demonic seance books. Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say about it, but I am enjoying this. This is cool so far, and I feel like every character has enough about them that you're interested in seeing them, do stuff. But they also have that like morally corrupt or ambiguous edge to them where you probably wouldn't feel awful if something bad happens to them. Even this guy, he just seems suspicious. This German guy who seems to know a lot about seances and demons and things. Yeah. I'm interested to see how this plays out. So they've been talking quite casually in this truck ride over there, and the angles they've been wider than what's on there now, but now they're getting into the juicy details. He's talking about the fella that owned the lot that he bought, the old man at the start who died. And he's talking about, he actually knows quite a lot about him. So in case I cut this out from what we saw earlier, when he was in the lot, he found a photo album that had old war pictures, and there was Nazi pictures in there. So the old fella had Nazi associations, right? As well as this demonic seance table thing. And he said, I actually know that. He's a German himself, and he knows about this seance thing. So he's saying, I actually knew of that fella and his previous sort of war affiliations and stuff. And now he's revealing quite a lot more about him, and his demonic connections and things. So now, because the subjects that they're talking about are getting juicier and deeper, we've moved into closer shot. These are it's extreme close up on his face. It's pretty damn close on his face. I wouldn't call that a medium by any stretch, because it's not. It's literally just sort of the upper chest to the top of the head. Whereas before they were a bit wider, maybe hanging where the side windows would be, and now we're right up in there. So I'm just going to rewind it a touch.
The asshole.
Family.
See, there were shots more like this. That was probably as close as they got. But the one I just showed you, we were right up there,
No offense, but shut the fuck up.
I can't wait for this guy to die. So it was really important earlier that they established this. Remember I said this place is like a maze? They were establishing that it's so twisty and turny and windy to get in and out. He's just said to the bloke, there's only one exit. And they've upped the tension by this temporary light thing always switching off on them. And now that seems to be coming to fruition. Is it fruition or thruition? As in like F or TH? Fruition. Thruition. Through the looking glass. Because now he's getting lost. And is he getting lost because he's concussed? He had a bump on his head? Or is there some demonic shit happening? Because I kind of hope it's the demonic shit. Because like I said, fuck this guy. So I think this German priest might be about to... Is he a priest? He might be about to get a boo-boo. What happened to Dottie Volmer?
Where are you, Dottie Volmer?
Is it Dottie Volmer? He's blocking the loading bay. The son of a bitch can't even read. She's fun. I like her. She's feisty. She's not giving up and letting this son of a bitch walk all over her. She's like, I'm going to hang back and see what's what. I said earlier the lot was smaller than the other one, so I thought there might be a hidden wall. I know you're not going to believe me because I didn't say it earlier when I thought it, but I thought there might be a false wall. Maybe that's where Muggins is. The ghost, the demon, the possessed woman. That was a very nicely delivered section of dialogue from the German. Awesome use of lighting. It created a nice... See, there we go. Look at that nice... So they've got the candles there, but the chances are there's a secondary light, probably some sort of like gel to the side with an orange gel on it. And it's casting that awesome like shadow on this side of his face. And look at the intensity in his eyes. He's really saying to this guy, like, the information I'm giving you now is going to save your life potentially if you fucking listen. And if you don't fucking listen, may God help you. And of course, racist dick weasel over here doesn't fucking listen.
Contact with it. Do not speak with it. It will sense the dark.
Look at that. It will sense the dark in you. Oh, juicy. And then look at this son of a bitch. He doesn't give a fuck. He's just that. His eyes right now are just going, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Get out of my country. I can't wait for this guy to die. Not insulting the actor at all. The actor's doing a fine job. His character is what I have an issue with. But he kind of reminds me of Ben Mendelsohn, you know? If you don't know who that guy is, he was in A Place Beyond the Pines with Ryan Gosling. He was the main scientist guy in Rogue One. He's done a bunch. He's done a bunch of shit. Normally plays villains.
Fuck off.
Holy hecker. Where's his fucking face? He's gone, oh, she must be weak and starving. Doesn't have a face, my dude. No face.
I'm going for the book.
No. Question. Why didn't the priest run as soon as he kicked the thing over and saw the thing happening? The German bloke should have just run. This is good though. This is intense. This is interesting. I bet the Spanish woman that he gave the padlock back to, I bet she's locked him inside. He got. Ooh.
My career as an artist ended the moment I saw your work.
Nice little preview. Do I want to watch the preview? Yeah, fuck it, I'll watch the preview.
You're telling me rats is stealing bodies out of coffins?
You're telling me rats is stealing bodies? What's it gonna be?
I'm very worried about you.
I am very worried. I'm watching the shit out of this. I'm watching the fucking shit out of this. I hadn't seen a breakdown of all the different episodes like that intensely before. You know, I'd seen I think I saw a small teaser and I was like, oh, it's a Guillermo Del Toro project. I'm already sold. That dude doesn't miss. But yeah, that looked fucking intense, dude. All those different episodes and stuff. I'm watching the hell out of this. Yeah. I really enjoyed that episode. That was good. I don't know. It sounds sadistic as hell, but when evil people get their comeuppance, you can't help but I can't help but laugh at it. And it was a really good progression of events. You know, we start with the old man. We know something's a bit weird. There's a hint with something being a bit untoward with the CCTV footage of him. We get introduced to this character. It's established very early on that he's racist. And then that ends up, because of his racism, he doesn't help the Spanish woman or the Mexican woman. We'll call her the Spanish-speaking woman because I'm not sure of her country of origin. She may have been, she's from somewhere South American, but I don't know where. So because of his racism, he doesn't help her, and then that ends up being the linchpin to his demise, which is a lovely little bit of karma. But then all the uncovering of the seance board, and then, you know, so his reasons first off for like needing money were quite nicely fleshed out. It was done with a simple phone call and then an assault, just 2 beats to give us the fact that this guy desperately needs some money. And then you had the like his reasons for going. So he takes the seance table and everything, thinks, oh, I'll sell these quickly now, hopefully make my $12,000. Realizes there's a way he can definitely get even more money through these seance books. So then he want to go find the 4th book. So he runs back with the priest to I keep calling them priests, that German geezer, to try and, do that. All these nice little progression points. It didn't dilly-dally and bore you with too much stuff. And even the one scene that I thought when we were watching it might have gone on a little bit too long and might have got a little bit boring, actually ended up feeding that final climactic sequence where he was running through the thing away from the demon trying to escape and stuff. So the scene that I was talking about is what I mentioned a few minutes ago, about it being a bit like a maze with all those lights constantly going off and being a bit confusing to sort of find your way around. So yeah, that was really good. That was a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to watch the other episodes of that. Yeah, so this episode's probably going to be a bit shorter than most, but I'm ill, so I had to go easy on myself this morning. And just make sure that I could get it recorded and get it edited and get it uploaded in time for your ears to enjoy and your eyes to see on Monday. Even though I'm not called Movie Mondays with Luke Pickett anymore, I'm still trying to aim to get everything out to you on a Monday because it's nice to have a schedule and it gives you something to enjoy during the week. Anyway, this was Chatting Script signing off. And please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That population is slowly growing. Don't forget to follow on Spotify or subscribe or follow on Apple, on Amazon, where I don't think we're on Amazon actually. Wherever you're listening or watching, yeah, help your boy out. And follow the social media pages. I have a Twitter and an Instagram. They are both at Chatting Script.